All right, what's up, guys? Let's see if we can get some people in here. I'm just gonna do a quick market scan today. Let's see if we can find any interesting, interesting setups this Saturday. So yeah, if you have any questions about anything, any shorting requests or any questions at all, is feel free to let me know in the chats, and I'll take a look at whatever questions you guys have. All right. Let's see what's going on here. So first, I guess we want to take a look at Bitcoin. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. It's obviously not looking beautiful. I don't know if you've seen. I looked at a long yesterday. I closed that one in short, a small loss. So basically, what I did was I entered somewhere here with I think I had my stops below that area right there, and first take profit would be that level, and second take profit would be the level above. And let's just quickly go through why I looked at those two levels. So let's go to the 4 hour. So I basically went long based on the fact that I thought that we were going to have a breakout above this resistance area right here, which we were testing as resistance here, because I like the fact how the 1 hour was showing a bullish break in the market structure, and on the 15-minute we had a very nice long opportunity right here on that retest, right? And it looked good at first, right? But then we obviously ran into this resistance area here, and we, as soon as we came down, I think the setup looked something like this with a bit wider stop loss down here, and I exited when basically we just broke down here, because when we broke that below that low, I was looking at a trend to go like this, right? Let me show you. So I was aiming for this, right? But as soon as we broke that level, I exited. So I exited, around this area in a small loss, and obviously that was a good thing, because now we kind of, we started to break down properly. So yeah, so the take profit areas here was basically, based on if this level breaks out, we will hit resistance here, and then of course the last resistance should be the the breakdown area, where we kind of, if you look at the 4 hour, we have a pretty clear candle going through that level, and that's the last lows prior to the breakdown. You can also see on the 1 hour here that you have some type of bearish retest after that breakdown. So I'm thinking, this is going to be a major resistance area right here. Obviously that did not play out. I want to show you something interesting, because on this Bitcoin long from yesterday, on this Bitcoin long from yesterday, I based it on the 1 hour and the 50-minute. I did like the 50-minute trend right here, and if you like, I got to show you a winning trade here on Euro JPY that I went long on yesterday, and closed it right before the market closed yesterday, and this was based on the same idea basically. So if you go on if you use the replay function right here, you will see that you had a bounce of the 20 EMA and the 50-minute, with the stochastics RSI turning bullish, and then we had a pretty nice push to the upside right here. So I entered right on that 50-minute candle close. This was also based on higher time frame swing trade, where the 4 hour was looking very, very nice, with the bounce on the 20 EMA right here, with stochastics creating a bull cross below below 30, you're also bouncing in the area between, well, right on the 618 actually of this local uptrend. So it's a scalp long inside a swing trading idea basically. And as you can see here, we bounced up the 50-minute 20 EMA with the stochastics, and this turned out, all right. And the Bitcoin long was pretty much based on the same idea. And what I love about these scalps right here is you can get such a clean, such a tight entry. Look at this, right? So let's say you see this, right? And you get that as soon as the stochastics turns bullish, you get that nice bullish candle right there. Of course, you have that trend line right here, which might make you say that, all right, so we need to break and retest this trend line. So there's two opportunities to go long here. Either you go long on that 50-minute candle close, which stops right below the wicks right there. And that would be an extremely high R setup, because the last take profit for this one would be the minus 618 up at this area. So there's a 14 R, but you would most likely take 25 here, 25 here, and 50 here. So the risk to reward on this setup would be 50s here and 50s there. It would be right between these two. So around 11 R, which is still incredibly good. But even if you exit as soon as as soon as price, closes a candle below the 20 EMA and a 50-minute, let's say it happens right here, it's still going to be a 5R trade. So very good. So that's the first opportunity on where you might want to go long here on that right there. But then of course you have that trend line, which kind of makes sense, right? You have the lower highs right here and lower lows. So it's a downwards trending channel, or whatever you want to call it. Right into that area. So if you have a break and retest of that trend line, you can go to the 15-minute, right? So you know that's the entry trigger based on the scalping setup, the stock RSI turning bullish on the 20 EMA. So you could use that to your advantage here when looking at the 5-minute. So let's put a stop loss right there. You know that's going to be your invalidation level. Look at the 5-minute and you wait for you wait for the same setup to emerge on the 5-minute, but on this trend line. So what are we seeing here? Well, we're seeing exactly that. Price comes down, hits the trend line, creates a 5-minute bullish engulfing on the 5-minute 50 EMA with a stochastics bull cross right there. So the entry right here is definitely safer, but less lower risk to reward, because you're still going to use the same invalidation level. But up to current prices, it's still going to be a 4R trade, and up to the minus 618, you're going to have a nice 11R trade. And on average, if you take the same profit, it would be a 8R trade. So still very, very profitable. And I guess that's my scalping system in a nutshell. I got to say though that the win rate isn't too high on this, but the average R is quite good. So even with a 30 or 40% win rate, when you get the 8 to 10 R winners, you're obviously going to be in a quite big profit. All right, so that is a quick example on that that scalping tactic being used on low time frames and the higher time frames. Well, Bitcoin is breaking down. Let's see on the daily, we're about to go down to the 20 EMA again. It's not looking that beautiful. Stochastic RSI is oversold. Let's look at this chart right here. Yeah, it's let me just answer a message here. What time? So I'm doing another stream tonight. Just need to figure out what time it should be. Probably around 20:30 2030 mine time in UTC is 2019 1830. Perfect. Right, on 1830 UTC, I'll do a public stream as well tonight. So this one is just I didn't really plan this one. I'd like to do webinars like this one from time to time, where I used to jump on right into the shots and take a look at whatever, kind of invite you guys into what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis as a trader. Let's actually do some journaling, right? So I got a journal, this one right here. I'm not going to show you guys my journal because I feel like it's a very private thing, very private thing to do. It's like I feel kind of naked when I'm exposing my because I have a lot of like private stuff going on in there. I have like statistics that I'm gathering, which is like, yeah, it's a journal is something very private, obviously. If done right, it's a private information. But I could go through what I'm journaling and why I'm journaling and how I'm, looking at this setup right here. So I've written here that I said right here that exited here right before market closed. Should probably have put a stop loss right below the 0% fib instead. If we in case we continue to pump, right? I'll get a question here. Do you manage your trade on the same time frame in which you enter our if I'm doing my analysis on the daily and I enter based on the 4-hour, that's a tough question because I manage to trade, like usually I have a plan. I have a plan for my take profit areas, or I have some type of plan, right? For example, this Euro JPY trade, I did the analysis on the daily and 4-hour, entered on the 1-hour and the 15-minute. But the idea was all along to exit before the market closed. So 1 hour before the market closed, I saw this and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna enter right here, exit right here. But now, like after the fact that I've exited, I was thinking that maybe I should just have put a stop loss right here, right? Because it's not a big difference in profit. The P&L wouldn't be that huge of a difference really. And when the markets open on Sunday night, Sunday evening, I mean, you might have another push up. So what I've done here is I've added this like as a note, and I'm going to add it to my journal. And I'm going to say that I need to observe this trade. I'm going to add some alerts here as well. I need to observe this trade, and I need to make some notes in my journal to see if exiting here was the right thing to do, or if putting in a stop loss lower would be the right thing to do. And if putting a stop loss lower would be the right thing to do, I need to go through the trades that are similar to this one and see if there's a pattern, right? If there's actually a pattern that's emerging that's saying that I should put in a stop loss instead of exiting fully, well, I need to add that as a lesson to take with me into next week and the day after and the week after. So let's pull up the journal here. I just gonna have to log into the exchange first. That's awesome, man. I'm really happy that you're liking the videos and the content that we are providing you guys with. right. So let's do some journaling here. We have the profit on that one, so that's going to be calculate the profit quickly. And the exit price would be right. So actually, what I did here was I took 25% profit at the 0, and then I exited fully. So I take 25% profit at the 0, or right up here, and then so it's going to be the same price basically. Be the same price, and the exit date on this one was yesterday at 21:10. So yesterday at 21:10, right? So do I have any screenshots for this one? Yes, so I'm gonna save this screenshot right here as my last screenshot, and then I'm gonna close the trade in my journal, hopefully. Let's see, what's the fees on this one? So that was a good trade. I think in terms of entry triggers and discipline when waiting for confirmation, I think this was one, not my biggest winner, but definitely my best trade this week in terms of actually following my rules and my system. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum. Yes, I did move my stop. I did move my stop to entry when we had that big breakout. So if you look at the 50-minute right here, I started moving my stop to entry when I started to see this right here, and it kind of looked like it wanted to continue higher. So I moved my stop to entry and took 25% profit somewhere up in that region right there. What's your thoughts on LTC USD? Let's take a look at that one right now. We got LTC USDT. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the daily. I got some more questions here. What kind of fib do you use? I use the normal fib retracement tool. That's one I mostly use. Honestly, like I have not really researched the trend based, like the fib extensions too much. I like the way you would add that one would be like from the low of that move to the high and then back down to that low. And sometimes I guess you could try to look for like confluences between the fib extension tool and but honestly I haven't really spent any time to go through how to actually use that tool. So like I'm profitable using the tools that I'm using right now, so I have no reason to really go into any more tools and learn how to use it. But for a as reason to teach you guys more stuff, I'm trying to learn as much as possible to kind of give you guys that information. Litecoin, let's remove everything here. All right, so looking at the daily right here, obviously this daily candle as it's currently looking is not that beautiful. However, I do really like the behavior of this trend, and it's nowhere near over, I would say. Like the behavior of the trend is very, very much intact. You have that low, high, low. I don't think I have to repeat that. You know what I'm looking at. That's not the best one, but the behavior of this trend, I think like it's such a good area on Litecoin right here. It's it's testing these previous highs right there is beautifully. So I like that. Let's add a fib to this. Could it be the 382 or something like that? Maybe, I guess, well, maybe even the 50. Let's see. Yeah, so it's actually testing the 50 quite perfectly right here, which is a very good thing. Not good thing, but it's a good level. The 50% is definitely a very interesting level. And on the daily, we have the stochastics RSI below 20. And as you can see here, on every bounce on LTC, we have had a first a daily bullish engulfing candle. So you can see that here. I guess that's the exception right here, but I would probably go with, you know, that breakout right there. But if you look at this right here, you have a daily bullish engulfing with the stochastics turning bullish below 20, daily bullish engulfing with the stochastics bullish below 20, and a daily bullish engulfing, stochastics turning bullish below 20. So that's the behavior of this trend right now, I'd say. And it's all happening around the 50 EMA daily. Now, look at this, right? Where is the daily 50 EMA? Well, it's right down here inside the long RLC. Now, something very interesting to note here is if you go to Bitcoin and you look at this, let's remove this. So keep in mind on Litecoin that we have the daily 20 EMA, no, the daily 50 EMA inside the long RLC of Litecoin, right? So look at this right here inside the, let's see if we can bring up the weekly 50. Oh, yes, down here. But if you look at the RLC here on Bitcoin, that's just a beautiful level, right? The area between, you know, I'd say between 43 and 40. I'm not saying that Bitcoin will go down here. I do think we're going to get some type of bounce at around, you know, current area. But if Bitcoin does drop down into long RLC, that's obviously, I mean, that's long RLC. It's obviously going to be very interesting buying opportunities if we form a bottom down here. And if that happens, I guess Litecoin will most likely drop down into the long RLC and hit the daily 50. Now, if this happens, I would definitely go long on Litecoin. It's a very, very interesting area for Litecoin right here. And whenever the daily stochastics turns bullish, and if we get a bullish engulfing, that would be the bottom most likely. But if it happens inside the long RLC, I would definitely take that trade as a very high probability trade that we are going to continue upwards. All right, that's Litecoin. I do really like that analysis, comparing it to Bitcoin. So I really do like Litecoin here. I will 100% keep my eyes on Litecoin here. The fact that we are inside a very nice support area right now makes me think that I might even want to go long on Litecoin, you know, around current prices actually. But it's like Bitcoin looks like shit, and Litecoin is not going to break out all of a sudden if Bitcoin breaks down, right? So I don't know, like this is probably the long RLC of this range. So yeah, look at that. That's I don't know, like, god damn it. Oh man, you know, look at that. That's the 50 and the 618 is in perfect harmony here, which makes me think that, you know, I just want to smash the buy button here, but looking at Bitcoin, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I really do not want to, I don't know. I really don't know, have a clue on what I should be doing here in terms of Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, right? I'm looking at the lower caps, not the low caps, but, you know, all coins that are not Ethereum and Litecoin. It might be a whole different story because they have a slightly different market structure than the you know, the three big ones. But out of Bitcoin and Litecoin, yeah, Litecoin is 100% the most interesting one right here. Let's see if we go to the 15-minute. What are we seeing on the 15-minute? All right, so on Litecoin, maybe this would be a good idea. Look for a break and retest, like we have that downtrend. Could see like a break and retest of that level. Yeah, you know what? I kind of like that. I like that. So that might be a trade that I'm interested in. Very risky, probably. Probably take profit at probably up here. Move stops to entry, and I would let this run up to the major fib area up here. Probably the 50, something like that. That would be a decent trade actually. Would add some alerts right here. So that's something I'm watching today and tomorrow on Litecoin. Look at Ethereum. Could this be the RLC as well? Oh, all right. So Ethereum is showing quite clear signs of a reversal here, I would say. So I'm not really super impressed with the price action of Ethereum, which kind of sucks because I have quite a big bag of Ethereum. So I'm really hoping that we will bounce here. Invalidation level or invalidation area would definitely be a close below these lows right here, probably. Close and below that area would definitely invalidate, and I would look at this structure as a reversal pattern, basically. All right, so this is a good question. Well, any experienced trader in the altcoin market or in the crypto market knows that you can't be certain of anything in the crypto market by excluding Bitcoin's price action, right? It's very important to remember that. It's very important to remember that whatever happens with Bitcoin, altcoins will most likely react to that. It's just the nature of the crypto market, so you have to take that into consideration. If you go long on an altcoin and Bitcoin just dumps, and you long on an altcoin versus USDT, that altcoin will most likely go down in value, right? It's going to go down with Bitcoin. There's obviously some exceptions to this, but generally that's the rule, and that's where the probability is, right? If Bitcoin dumps, altcoins will most likely dump with it. In some cases, altcoins versus Bitcoin might be safer in that option, but it's a balance that you have to figure out. And one way to figure that out is to look at Bitcoin. Like, let's say you want to go all long on an altcoin, and the altcoin trade looks fantastic, right? But but Bitcoin is looking bearish at resistance, while the BTC dominance chart is showing a low time frame bullish market structure, right? So when Bitcoin is trading at resistance, there's a high probability that Bitcoin will go lower, right? Because it's resistance. And if the BTC dominance chart has a low time frame bullish market structure, that means that the money is flowing out of altcoins into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is gaining market dominance in terms of market capital cap, right? So in that case, no matter how high of a conviction you have on your altcoin setup, it's most likely not going to be that high probability of it upwards move, looking at the rest of the market. Yeah, we can take a look at, well, first of all, I just want to take a look at Bitcoin here. I mean, Ethereum. I just want to quickly take a look at Ethereum. So we actually did come down and test the 618 right there with a pretty nice. Yeah, we probably have some more downside, obviously. So I'm going to put some alerts above the 236 right here and below the 618 to see kind of what's going on. Actually, I'll lower that one right here. Right now, no sense of direction for Ethereum. It doesn't look that beautiful. Litecoin is much better. Let's take a look at the BTC dominance chart. Yes. All right. Wow. Been a while since I did analysis on this one. Holy shit. First impression is we should look at trades on altcoins versus Bitcoin. Right? Bitcoin is showing signs of weakness while the BTC dominance is in free fall. That means that altcoins now have an opportunity to outperform Bitcoin. That's why you want to go long altcoins versus Bitcoin, not altcoin versus USDT. So we might be seeing the first signs of a real big altcoin window. I'm not going to say altcoin season because we're never going to see an altcoin season most likely, but an altcoin window that might last a couple of days or a couple of weeks might be very interesting. So one level of support that we obviously have to watch is that level right there. So yeah, let's take a look at that one. And we're hitting that level right now. So we're hitting that level right now, which makes me think that, you know, we might get a bounce here, and to, you know, and we are kind of, you know, on the hourly establishing some type of potential you know, potential break in market structure. But I think the 1 hour chart is too small of a time frame to analyze this on. So I'd like to go on the 4 hour, and we have some interesting areas right here. We have first that level, and then the second one I just write a zone right here. These are going to be our invalidation levels of the downtrend, which means that if we get something like this, I'd say that, you know, the probably going to see a reversal here. Why did you say that we're not going to see an altcoin season? Because I don't think we're going to see an altcoin season. I'm like, when I'm talking about altcoin seasons, I'm talking about the altcoin season we had in like 2017 and 18, when everything just pumped like crazy, like insane. I'd say we are currently in a major altcoin season. If you look at the altcoin charts, it's just, you know, look at our RLC, look at you know, whatever, could take whatever XLM, USDT. I mean, this is what an altcoin season looks like, right? It's just everything just goes up. So I'd say we are in a crypto season, altcoin season, but we're not going to see an altcoin season like we did back then. We're in a different market, right? But we are going to see altcoin windows, right? And altcoin windows is when the BTC dominance drops and altcoin windows have a chance to outperform Bitcoin when Bitcoin shows some weakness. When people say altcoin season, it might mean that altcoins are going to pump like crazy for weeks and months. That's not going to happen most likely, but we are most likely going to see altcoin windows where altcoins will outperform Bitcoin heavily in a window of days to weeks, but not months. So that's of course just purely speculations. I could just be completely wrong, of course. AVUSDT broke its 3-month long range, but Bitcoin is not looking promising. What would you do in this case? Well, let's take a look. Well, I think this looks just beautiful. So yeah, I mean, this does look pretty good. But I don't like how the 4 hour looks. There's no clear trend here or anything. But if you get like, let's see. All right, so what I would be looking at right here would be a move back down into the long RLC right here and form a nice round the bottom here. I think the risk to reward on this trade right here would be it's very, very good, right? So you might get something like this, right? I would really like to see something like that, and if we do get that confirmation on a long here, I think the risk to reward on this one is quite good. Let's see. Yeah, as a swing trade, this makes absolute sense. You might want to go long in the middle of the RLC or something like that with a 10% stop loss. You even have like 2R up to the last high. So yeah, the risk to reward on this setup is great. I would definitely I'm gonna post this in my channel in the Discord, my Libs for Two channel. Right, let's see, do we have anything else? Right, so we have questions regarding the fib tool. So I'm just going to bring up my settings. What you can do here is you can watch the replay, pause the video, just go back in the live view, pause the video, and copy these settings, and you will get the exact same fib settings that I have, which is basically the 786, 702, 618, the 50, 382, and the 236, and of course the 1 and the 0. And what I've done is just add a, copy these and add a minus in the beginning, which will give you the extensions of this fib right here. It's not the same as the fib extension tool, but it's the extent. Basically, it's the same fib ratio, but added on top of the ones that you measured, right? And these could be used very successfully as take profit areas. You go long here, take profit at these fibs. Usually, I take profit at the 0, the -236, and the -618. In crypto, in forex, I might wait for the -50 because the moves might not be that too big. We had something on Litecoin too, right? Let's see. Yes, that was the idea on Litecoin. You know what? We're about to print a pretty nice bullish candle on the 1 hour here, and this is honestly, like, in trading recently, this has been one of my biggest problems because I would like to buy that candle close right there. It closed right now, and it's looking so good, right? So because of the fact that we had a strong bullish candle on the bounce of the low time from 618 and the high time from 50% level, it kind of makes sense to buy that, because we also have a bull cross on the stochastics RSI. But I need to wait for a, at least a 15-minute break in market structure, right? I need to wait for 15-minute break in market structure, breakout, hit that next fib level, come down, and successfully bounce into that area. Without that happening, this should not be a trade that I'm willing to take. But recently, I've done that mistake so many times where I enter on the candle close because it looks good, but after I usually get stopped out, and I'm like, oh god damn it, I need to wait for break and retest, because I've seen that sometimes price comes down, hits my stop loss, moves up, break and retest the entry area, and then continues higher. So I need to wait for that confirmation. The problem with that, waiting for that type of confirmation, is the fact that you'll miss out on a lot of trades, right? Because you're gonna miss out on this one if it just moves like that, right? So I'm getting a lot of alerts right now. I don't know what's going on, but let's take a look. Right. All right. Atom looks pretty good. Just gonna share this. I'm sharing this in my channel as well. And we are going to take a look at Atom. But really, I have a feeling that altcoins versus BTC is the way to go here. Look at that level. Right, this is an old chart. I haven't shown this in so long. Right, that's a decent level. We are breaking above that right now. So let's add some moving averages here. Here's actually a beautiful example of the trade setup I talked about earlier. We had a bounce of the 20 to 50. This is definitely on my radar. I'm going to add this to green list. Get a lot of, ooh, that looks interesting. 4 hour. What is this? Oh, I'm not even gonna touch this. Looks weird, but that looks pretty good. What else? What else? Atom was very nice. So I'm gonna end the webinar shortly. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll try to help you out. ADA USD needs to break out here. But I'm not. Let's look at ADA BTC. Yeah, no. I'm seeing some signs of altcoins really pumping more versus BTC than USDT at this moment, which is definitely very, very interesting. This is a good breakout on one BTC, and I would love to get in on a potential retest somewhere in that area right there. Next alert should be up in that area. I'm adding this to green list as well. Let's quickly go through the green list to see if we can find anything interesting here. All right, so .USDT, let's look. God damn it, look at that. The last take profit hit. Obviously, we got stopped out, but it's funny how, yeah, I guess it's not funny. Yeah, so I mean, DOT is actually not looking too bad, right? It's actually not looking too bad. So I'm gonna add an alert on the 20 EMA and 4 hour. What would you recommend the trading strategy for new traders since Bitcoin is too volatile? Should you wait for confirmation of Bitcoin and get into all positions for alts? Well, I don't think Bitcoin is too volatile. I mean, volatility is what makes you money. As a trader, you need volatility. Imagine if Bitcoin was not volatile. Imagine if everything is moved sideways. You would not make a penny. So volatility is something you should embrace. That's what makes you money. So it's not too volatile. It's at this point probably we need more volatility. Should we wait for confirmation on Bitcoin before getting to all positions? Well, it's such a complicated question. I mean, no, it's a good question, but the answer is so complicated because you not only have to take care of look at Bitcoin, but you also have to get a feeling for the altcoin market, right? You have to like for example, I'm watching the market. I'm experiencing the markets right now. I'm checking my alerts. I've done a quick scan before this webinar, and I had that feeling that all right. So, for example, I looked at one USDT and one BTC, and the one BTC shot had a bigger pump than the one USDT shot, and all coins are starting to break out versus Bitcoin. So I'm thinking we might want to look at all coins versus Bitcoin, and I don't really need any confirmation on Bitcoin. The only confirmation on Bitcoin I need is not to print an extremely bullish candle, right? If Bitcoin just goes crazy and prints an enormous daily candle, well, of course, then the altcoin versus Bitcoin idea might not be a good idea. So yeah, I'm not really sure how to answer that question in another way. It's just complicated. You need to kind of screen time, get to know the market, right? Get to know the altcoins versus USDT, get to know altcoins versus Bitcoin, like get a feeling for when stuff is moving and what's actually going on Bitcoin when stuff is moving. All right, so .USDT is actually kind of, hitting a pretty interesting level right here. I'm going to add some alerts here for potential long scalp. I'm not taking a long scalp here, but it looks pretty interesting. All right, next one. DCR. I think we can remove that one. FTT USDT. Yeah, it's did we get stopped out on this one? I think we moved stop to entry on this one, so we should probably have gotten stopped out at entry on this one, which is a good thing because it's not looking that great right now. Well, it's not looking too bad, but you know what? I'm still keeping that on the green list. Rune USDT looking good. I'm going to remove that one because I have the BTC trade. Tomo USDT. Well, look at that. Look at that. It's in the long RLC. That's a interesting area, definitely. So on Tomo, look at that. We have a potential W forming on Tomo. This would be a decent trade. I'm gonna add this to my channel as well. That USDT, not looking good. I'm not liking this at all. I'm just gonna remove that from the green list. XMR. Wow, look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, so let's look at this one. That's a nice round the bottom on a daily on the 20 EMA with stochastics bull cross. And we also have some type of bullish. Also some bullish break in market structure. Why are we getting very less official calls these days? Well, like on average, it's like one call a day. So I wouldn't really say it's way less, but it's when Bitcoin, right? So there's just like you have an uptrend and a downtrend. You have an uptrend and a downtrend, and between the uptrend and the downtrend, you have a reversal area, right? And when you enter a reversal period or a reversal area, like in a bull market, and when everything's going up and when there's a clear trend, it's easy. I'm not going to say it's easier, but there will be more trades. There will be more trades. There will be more opportunities because we have something established, right? We have something established, and the strategies and the setups, they keep popping up all over the place. But then all of a sudden you have a shift in market structure across the crypto market, right? Like when Bitcoin moves and when Bitcoin have a change in behavior, you have a shift in the market structure across the whole crypto market, right? And when that happens, you can't immediately you can't continue to post the same amount of setups and the exact same type of setup because they will just not be available as often, right? So to keep you guys safe, we try to only post the stuff that in a scenario like this are showing signs that are not really, something special, or, or some coins that are much stronger than other ones. But the safest option, like, we can give you 10, 20 setups every day, but the win rate is going to be shitty, right? So for us, it's important that we figure out what stage of the market we are in and try to assess what the probability of actually going along in this current market structure, because we have a collective win rate in the Burbness, right? We want to keep that win rate high. We want to give you guys setups that we think are actually going to make you money. We don't want to give you setups because we want to give you setups, right? We want to give you setups that we think will actually make you money. That's the goal here. So if I see something that's right, this might be a good setup, but Bitcoin is giving me a whole nother it's doing something completely different, right? So on this particular setup right here, that might be a good trade, but if you take into consideration the market conditions, it's not going to be a good trade. So right now we are in a shift, and I'd say previous days, previous weeks, we had like somewhere between 2 and 5 setups every day. Now we're on average, I'd say like one every day, and that's the simple explanation of as a trader you have to be willing to adapt to the current market conditions, basically. Hopefully that kind of answers your question. But like days like these or times like this, they're just going to last a couple of days, right? It's most likely we just need to see something being established before we make a move. XLM looks beautiful here. Actually looks really, really good. This might actually be a trade setup. All right, guys. So I have to end the stream. I would like to thank you all for joining, and I love all the the questions you have. It's really giving me something to do on a Saturday like this. Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone, and see you tonight, 18:30 UTC. I'll do a public one with a with a more. I have a more clear structure where I already have already done the market scan. Gonna show you some setups that I'm actually watching. All right, guys, take care.